if you guys want to fill me in, that'd be great.
Justin gave us his life story. Drew gave us the talking tweet, 140 characters or less about his tournament. I gave us his life story, and Pram just talked about his. So it's up to you now.
All right, so now it's time for my life story, huh?
Yep. Under 5 hours.
I'll try to keep it under 5 hours.
Started in 2000, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, once the format switched over, I was pretty lost, because I've been playing Dialga for, the past 2 or 3 years. So I had to actually learn what new cards did. And, I wasn't really looking forward to the new format. And I showed up, didn't really have a deck made. I was probably between Typhlosion or some Stage 1 deck that I just put together the week before. And when I got there, I sat down in Fremwatt's room, put together a Stage 1 deck, and I just started playing with it. And then he triple plus power knocked out my Minccino in one testing game, and that's when I was like, alright, I'm going to play a deck with a bunch of basics, and that's never going to happen again. So, yeah, I think Krim was saying I just went with a deck that had a bunch of basics. I was just trying to be consistent and set up every round. So that's what I went with. I ended up going with Donphan, Yanmega, Zoroark, and, the Swiss rounds, most of my games were one-sided one way or another. I either just got blown out or I blew out my opponent. So it wasn't really that exciting. And then it's probably more of the same in Top Cut. It wasn't until I had a close match with Chuck, Top 64, where I top decked quite a few times to get out of that game. Sorry, Chuck. But after that, I faced an Umbreon, Vileplume, Samurott, Cinccino, Zekrom deck, and I was just like, how did this deck get here? And so I rolled through that pretty easily. And then I guess top 8, I had to play against Tom Dolzo, one of the most consistent Nationals performers of all time. Just shows up with a deck, makes top 8 every year somehow. But I think not playing really got the better of him because he didn't really know what my cards did. So the first time I sent out Zoroark, it just blew his mind. And yeah. And then from there I played Jason Harry, which was a really, really close series. Really came down to the wire. Fortunately I came out ahead on that. And then I played against Justin, where also a super close series. And, the flips were going my way the whole tournament, but that's where my luck ran out, and that's cool. And it was a fun ride. I legitimately didn't expect to get anywhere during the tournament, especially in such an unpredictable format as this one. But I'm very grateful to have made it so far. And no sour grapes at all, no hard feelings at all towards losing. Just complete congratulations to Justin. That's all I got to say.
He's a liar. He hates you, Justin.
He's a great player, man. I can't even lie, dude. This guy's like top 4 3 years in a row. That's ridiculous.
One thing I thought was really cool was how they set up that big stage at the end. And had us playing in front of everybody.
That was really cool. I was like, are you playing back there? And they're like, nope, you're playing right in front of everybody. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's cool. Playing in front of people is actually really fun.
Yeah.
What I thought was actually kind of cool? I'm sorry, Kyle, I don't mean to interrupt you. But I thought it was really cool how you at first were really nervous. It was obvious that you were really nervous, Justin. But halfway through the first game, you were sitting there going just playing for the crowd, jumping up and down. I thought you really embraced that. That was sick. I was sitting there going, man, that should be me.
Honestly, I just wanted to make myself and Kyle have fun instead of it being a nerve-wracking top 2,
Yeah.
I wanted the whole crowd to feel what we were feeling, It felt cool.
And we did, dude. Everybody was sitting there jumping up and down. I remember trying to cast that. And quick aside, we really dropped the ball on that. We were trying to record the match, and then all of a sudden the battery dies. Ugh. We'll never make that mistake again, I promise. But we'll try to get you guys whatever we actually recorded out of that. But anyways, we're sitting there trying to cast that, and I'm sitting there trying to talk really low, that way I don't interrupt anybody. And then all of a sudden, I think Kyle puts tails or whatever, and you just jump up, and I'm like, whoa! My voice goes out like it just did right now. It was an incredible ride. And from that point on, it was just nonstop action, nonstop excitement, and it's cool that a match can actually be that exciting and it be the finals. That was sick, dude. Everybody, and I'm talking about literally everybody, people that didn't even play the game, were just sitting there going whoa, what happened? What happened? And whenever somebody missed a roll or got a roll, everybody was just like, whoa! It was exciting.
Yeah, it was like when Puka went for lunge in Game 3. It was like, oh,
yeah, everybody was like, oh.
I'm not gonna lie. I legitimately might have pooped my pants when you rolled for lunch. I think I might have. I was like, am I gonna lose nationals to the rule?
Oh, it's too funny, dude. That was fun. Great tournament. But
I was like, yeah, man, I can't pass up this opportunity.
Gambler.
Yeah. I think I go for it every time too. Don't worry.
Oh, God.
My triple plus power abilities. They say yes.
Yeah. Continue, Val.
Alright. So, I guess that's my whole story. And I guess from there we can just kind of analyze the tournament as a whole and kind of look forward to Worlds. I think everybody kind of noticed Yanmega was the popular card. It was in every deck, top 16 almost.
Yeah.
So, I guess what do you guys expect going forward into Worlds? Do you expect more Yanmega, or do you expect more people trying to counter Yanmega, or what? And I guess we'll start off with Justin.
Alright. Well, this is what I've noticed, like I said in my interview after I had won. There's people trying to counter Yanmega, but when you come to think about it, there's not much that really does counter Yanmega at the moment. You're thinking Yanmega Mirror Match is really the best way to do it when you can snipe 40 on a bench genre. You're going to evolve it, and then you can Sonic Boom it next turn. But other than that, there's not really you can run Zekrom, but that's not going to counter it. You're just going to die next turn anyway. So I'm trying to think, and honestly, I can't think of much that can counter Yanmega, so I think those should be more of it. But as a deck in a whole, I think Yanmega Night Zone, or what you ran with the Zontan and Sword, would be the two top decks that Yanmega can have. Other than that, it's your guys' turn.
Cool.
Alright. How about Framelot? He took second at Worlds last year. You know what it takes to do well. So, how about, what do you think?
Yeah, for the most part, you see more of the same. I mean, everyone just runs what they're familiar with, for the most part. So, if you see people, you're just going to see a lot of Yanmega decks at Worlds. I don't think anyone. I mean, you'll see a couple Emborn Magnezone, but not really. And even when if you do see them, they probably will just get knocked out due to the sheer number of Yanmegas. Yanmega is going to be a huge force, but as for countering Yanmega, Rushram seems to do a pretty good job of that. One-shots it, you go infinite with Rushram. It's just a matter on who sets up first, really. So, yeah. Pretty much more of the same.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, I think World's going to be much the same. Like Justin was saying, there's not really a counter to Yanmega. Zekrom's not a good counter. There's really not any good other lightning Pokemon. So you're going to see decks that play Yanmega or try to minimize Yanmega's effect. Like Ham was saying, Reshiram doesn't really care about Yanmega. Typhlosion doesn't really care about Yanmega. It's doing 120 every turn, so the 70 and 40 aren't really hurting it that much. So that's how I feel it's going to go. The Yanmega decks and the decks Yanmega can't really hurt.
Okay, I can see that. And how about we get some theory in here from the greatest theoretical mind in the game? What do you think, Chris?
Well, I got to go through the grinders first before I even get to Worlds. But I think Yanmega is just the best attacker in the game, so I don't see why it wouldn't be used. Typhlosion is obviously really good against Yanmega, but I mean, you have Zoroark, you have other options against that. I'm not saying you're going to be a favorite against the deck, but you can make your deck, at least reasonably well equipped to beat that. And I mean, why not use the best attacker in the game? It just seems silly not to. Being able to keep your deck add 4 extra slots to your deck just because you don't actually need energies to be able to use on Yanmega's attack is really cool. Like, that's the biggest advantage in the world. I don't have to decide between plus power or communication or reversal or whatever. I can choose to get all 4, all 3.
Communication.
Yeah. That just came out. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, Yanmega is awesome. I would use it still at Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, how do you counter something that attacks 70 for 0 or 40 to a bench Pokemon for 0? Like, there's nothing. I mean, trust me, I tried my heart out because I played against Joner nonstop leading up to Nationals. He would play Yanmega Magnezone. He kept track. He played the deck like 125 times at least leading up to Nationals. And there's nothing more frustrating than staring down a turn 2 Yanmega, turn 2 Magnezone. It's just, I tried everything in the book. There's like no way to counter that. So, yeah, I don't really see a way to get around Yanmega. I guess the best way, as Primer Drew said, is like a Reshiram based deck. But even those are a little vulnerable to the early disruption you can get with Yanmega. So, I guess we'll have to see what happens. But in terms of like a top cut or overall metagame, what decks do you think will do the best? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll go. Typhlosion. I think stage 1s are really strong, and I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued by Kingdra Yanmega. It's like I can see it doing I can see it winning a tournament if it just runs decently well. It has everything it needs. It runs Yanmega, so it's already good there. You don't actually have to run spots like reversal or plus power, so you can run things like a lot more consistency cards. Yeah, I kind of like it. Yeah, for the most part, just Typhlosion, Yanmega stuff. It's pretty much the format right now. Oh, and maybe some random Sharpedo deck.
I agree with him. I mean, the only thing that I really see that I really don't like Kingdra Yanmega that much, but that's mostly because, in my opinion, it relies a lot more on going first than the other variants do, because you want to be able to get that snipe on their basics. But I don't know, man. It's just like I played against I think won that whole tournament, which was Dylan, and he beat me the first game. He went first. Second game, I was able to go first, so I was able to set out much faster than he was. And then the third game, he got the snipes, but when you're benching 2 of the same basic, you can still get out the next one even if they kill 1. So it's like, the strategy seems nice, but in my opinion, the effectiveness of the deck just doesn't seem like it works, But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe it's because I'm more biased towards my deck. But I don't know, man.
I actually saw that Blissey with the Kingdra Yanmega, and I thought that was really sick. Like, yeah, I was floored, but then I realized I was like, that probably loses to Reshiram. Like, I mean, obviously our deck still loses to Reshiram, but it's got Zoroark to at least beat that, or at least fight against that. I thought that deck just literally straight up lost.